Ferrari. A name that ignites the soul with visions of speed, artistry and passion. A mark that doesn't just build cars, but crafts masterpieces destined for greatness. And yet, there are moments when Maranello dares to reach even higher, to create a machine that defines an era, a true icon. Today, amidst the cold, crisp winter air and the sweeping hills of North Wales, we take 3 of these icons, 3 special edition V8s, and put their legacy to the test.
Here's what I've brought, the 458 Speciale, the last of the naturally aspirated V8s and possibly the finest midship Ferrari ever built. Now the thing I love about the Speciale is unfortunately the boss is joining us again, and here he is. Morning.
Good morning, Jonty. What have you bought an Aperta for?
What's wrong with it?
That wasn't in the script.
Well, this is Speciale.
You said bring a Scud, so I brought a Scud. Didn't bring a 16M, did I?
It's in a dark colour and it's, well, it's all I could find, but... Oh. I'd like to welcome another presenter to the channel, Paul, who's brought the loudest road car Ferrari ever made.
Oh, hello.
Morning.
All right, boys.
Welcome to Wales.
How are we?
Good, you?
Why have you bought an Aperta?
Oh, don't you start.
He just can't help himself,
Honestly,
mate.
you can't do anything right, can you?
Oh, come
You know what I forgot?
What?
A coat.
Oh, that were a bad idea.
Yeah, you've really messed up there.
It's not good at all.
That's why we should have filmed it in summer, eh?
Yeah, but
It's Christmas special though, isn't it?
you can't do a Christmas special in the summer,
Yeah,
can you?
true.
Anyway, so we've each brought our favourites from the V8 line, spanning 10 years of development.
11.
What? 2003, 2013?
2014, you bought the wrong car?
Look, hang on a
It's an
sec, guys.
Aperta.
Guys. Can we just stop bickering and go for a drive?
That's a great idea.
Yeah, good idea.
Let's
All
do
right.
it. I guess having the oldest car and being the best driver, I should probably go first. So let's start with the obligatory numbers, because every video review has to have lots of numbers. The Challenge Stradale, manufactured between 2003 and 2005. It has a 3.6 litre V8, producing 419 brake horsepower and 373 newton meters of torque. It weighs 1,430 kilos, 100 kilos less than the 360 it was based on. It goes from 0 to 60 in a very respectable, by the day, 4 seconds. And it'll keep on going to a red line limited 176 miles an hour. Now, for those of you zoned out, as soon as I started talking numbers, zone back in. This car is fast, and it's light. But that being said, I won't be admitting this to Pinky and the brain behind me. I may have chosen the wrong car. I currently feel like I'm on Coronation Street, driving a car that's made entirely of brick. It's like being trapped in a medieval torture chamber. Ferrari, in its infinite wisdom, decided that comfort has no place in this car. They've stiffened the suspension to such an extent that you feel every crack in the road, every pothole, every pebble, every leaf, probably every ant. The whole car vibrates like it's trying to shake you to death.
Oh look, I'm back in North Wales again. And I'm back in a Ferrari 430. But this time, I'm in our 430 Scuderia. It's a subtle tone of Grigio Silverstone. It's got racing harnesses. It's got racing seats that hug you like a terrified toddler. It's stripped out with just the bare essentials. Carbon fibre everywhere. It's got a radio delete. If I'm honest, who needs a radio? When you've got that V8 orchestra behind your head. So compared to the 430 I drove recently, it's 100% more exhilarating, which is perfect because I don't want a smooth, civilized ride. I want a road legal race car. 503 horsepower, 84 more than Paul in the Strad, 20 more than an F430. 0 to 60 comes in just under 3.6 seconds. Shed 100 kilograms of weight over the 430. And that's essentially Ferrari's way of saying, hold on tight.
Now, as punishment for bringing the wrong car, I've been told I'm not allowed to wear a coat and I've got to leave the roof down all day, even if it snows, which since it's only 2 degrees is quite possible. Now, I admit, this is probably not quite as engaging as the other two cars, but overall, it is the better car. Whereas the 430 was a big leap ahead of the 360, the 458 and especially the Speciale was leap years ahead of the other two. There was around 80 brake horsepower increase with a scud over the Strad. The 458 Speciale has 597 brake horsepower, which is about 100 brake horsepower more than the Scud. And all that from a little 4.5 litre V8, which was naturally aspirated. And of course, this was the last of the naturally aspirated V8s, but it went out with a bang. With all that power it had, 133 brake horsepower per litre. There's no wonder it won Best Performance Engine of the Year in 2014. And it was also given these polar harmonics with the throttles positioned right in the middle of the engine, which means it just sounds even better. Performance-wise, 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds, and it goes on to 202 miles an hour. It's such a responsive engine. If you want that power, it's there. It's quite torquey as well, really from low down. And then the gearbox. This was such a step ahead of the single clutch gearboxes that Paul and Adam have got. The Strad takes 150 milliseconds, which is a lifetime. The Scud, admittedly, is a lot better at 60 milliseconds. And the dual clutch, well, it's pretty seamless. They sort of estimate about 40 to 50 milliseconds. But it's always there when you want it to change. It feels instantaneous, so much more so than the others.
Unlike in Jonty's Speciale, these gear changes are slow, agonisingly slow. You pull the paddle and then you wait some more, and then when you finally get the gear, the car gives you a thump in the back, as if to say, congratulations, you've just ruined my day. And speaking of pulling paddles, why on earth is the right paddle so much bigger than the left? I mean, speak to Jonty and he'll tell you because it's racing driver reasons, but what does that even mean? And if this gearbox wasn't remarkable enough, Ferrari saw it fit to add a launch control button. A launch control button that practically has a big red do not press button slapped onto the top of it. Because make no mistake, you press that button and your clutch will obliterate. But unlike in Adam's Scud, at least we have a stereo. A stereo that came so much of an afterthought that it just hangs underneath the dash like a lonely testicle.
So this car is not just fast, it's an experience. Never driven another car that you feel so much through your fingertips and your toes. You feel connected with this car. It's truly, truly special. And it is just an absolute riot to drive. 347 foot-pounds. Doesn't sound that exciting on paper, but pair that with the 100 kilogram weight loss and max torque coming in at 5,250 RPM. The way it translates on the road, the way it pulls, mightily impressive. So the gearbox in the Scud is the car's party piece. Flat shifts are biblical. They are such a thrilling experience. And they're unique to the Scud. So people love to whinge about a single clutch gearbox, but trust me, dismissing it would be missing the point entirely. It's raw, it's not refined, and it's the absolute opposite to boring. And the Speciale, by comparison, is just a little bit too good. It's a little bit too polished for me. The steering is feather light, and it's super responsive. The chassis is a masterpiece. Thanks to a certain Michael Schumacher, I've got shift lights on my steering wheel. So a new feature introduced on the Scud was being able to keep the Manettino switch in race mode, but put the suspension on the softest setting. So that was the start of bumpy road mode. And it's like Ferrari saying, you can have your cake, but you can eat it too. Now I won't lie, the brakes are the weak link in this car. They're old tech, which means they're like the Three Bears porridge according to Goldilocks. Too cold, useless. Too hot, terrifying. Which isn't overly comforting when you're bombing up and down mountain passes. And they're horrendously expensive to replace. But for that reason, this car has just been upgraded with Surface Transform's carbon ceramic brakes. It's newer and improved tech. It fits using the existing calipers. They last much longer. They're always ready to bite without the terrifying price tag of the originals. They inspire confidence. You can treat this car as like it's a modern car now.
See, now whereas Adam had to upgrade the brakes on his Scud because they weren't quite good enough. You don't have to do anything like that with a Speciale. It comes ready built to be abused. It'll take the stick. Carbon ceramics. Stop you on a dime when they're up to heat, but getting some heat in them in a day like today takes a while.
Thankfully, I can't complain about the brakes here though. When the boys at Maranello developed the Strad, they dug deep into the parts bin and they came across the brakes from the Enzo, a car that's over 200 brake horsepower more powerful than this, and it even weighs 50 kilos more. So if you ask the brake pedal nicely enough, it will deliver. Now I know what you're thinking. Why on earth would anybody buy this torture device? Well, because despite everything I've just said, the Strad is without doubt one of the greatest cars on earth. Even after all its faults, all its little pointless ways, its annoying little traits, it has one thing that changes everything. You pull that little left paddle, that tiny little left paddle, and then you get to hear this. Push this car hard, and that gearbox, which was once a nightmare, opens up and becomes alive. Each gear change becomes perfectly timed. It's as if the car's entire personality shifts the moment you bury your foot into the bare metal. And the noise, oh dear God, the noise. It's like the heavens have opened and the angels have decided to throw a rock concert. Forget spine tingling, this is spine shattering. You find yourself just pushing harder and harder just so you can hear that absolutely incredible noise coming from the exhaust. It's about as subtle as a punch in the face.
Scuderia is everything I want in the car. It's loud enough to wake the dead. It's fast enough to make your heart race. And it's thrilling enough to leave your palms sweaty. And yet, it's completely usable and enough to make it practical. And for me, it ticks every box. Unfair to say the Scud sounds as good as the Strad. The Strad is without doubt the best sounding road car ever. But the Scud has a really distinctive, unique noise. It is so raw, it is so exciting. I was trying to think of a way to describe how the Scud sounds. It's a bit like a swarm of angry wasps inhaling the atmosphere. Listen to that. The crescendo to the red line is just epic. Oh, hey, hang on. Pulls up ahead. Here we go. For some reason, we've just suddenly picked up the pace.
just a wall of noise coming from those two in front of me. I've got to admit, at this point, they will be having more fun. Those cars are so much more engaging, and they are absolutely perfectly made for roads like this one. Ferrari V8s, they're the ones that are the B-road bashers, completely different to the big GT cars that you get with the V12s. The only thing is, having fun in a Speciale means you're going to go a lot faster. I've got to admit, this car makes so much more sense than the other two, 85% of the time, but when you start picking it up, those two are the ones where you want to be. The way that this car handles, it is incredible. Like just a small input, and it just turns in, it's just bang. The engine, it revs to 9,000. And because I've got the roof off, because I brought the wrong car, I get to enjoy all of it. Now, I know we all disagree, but all of these cars, we do love them all. We've driven them all. We know how good they are, but this is my favourite.
I can't help but think I've got the trump card here. Scuderia is nothing short of a masterpiece, a glorious blend of fury and finesse. In the company of these automotive greats, I do wonder, is the Scud the sweet spot?
To uncover the answer to this question and share our true thoughts on these extraordinary machines, we need a place worthy of the conversation. Palais Hall Hotel. Nestled in the heart of the Welsh countryside, this stunning location is the perfect setting to bring our day of driving to a close. Renowned for its warm welcome to petrol heads, it seamlessly blends the thrill of the drive with the serenity of its surroundings. Join us in part 2 to discover what we really thought, and while you wait, let us know in the comments what you think.